What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to start working on the front end. I'm still waiting for the sway bar. Apparently that's going to be like a 5 or 6 week turnaround, thanks to Christmas and them being, apparently they have to make it. So that is what it is. But in the meantime, we can do these arms. We've got tie rod ends as well as tie rods. We've got some, the tie rod, it says it right there, steering rack boot, because mine is split, so I grabbed a couple of them. Shout out to Anthony down at Burston's in Hastings. If you're ever in the area, you need anything, drop in and see Anthony, say good day, and he'll help sort you out. Assorted tools, sockets, spanners, we've got driveway gloves, as well as the wheel chock for the back wheel, because obviously we're putting the front up in the air. Safety jack stands, jack, and little, what do we call it, dog and bone, little thing to cruise around on under the car. So let's get these wheels off and then we'll get the front end up in the air. Alright, so the car's in the air, got jack stands under there, got the front wheels off. So I'll just bring you over here and show you this. So you see here we got, it's interesting, there's a random zip tie sitting there. Didn't put that there, that's weird. Anyway, so as you can see on the front, the brakes are just as manky as they were on the back. They'll come up really nice with a bit of paint. So we got our tie rod ends that we're replacing and steering rack ends that we're replacing, and you probably can't see it, it's a bit too dark in there, but there's the boot, steering boot up in there. But one thing that you might notice is drop link. That's the sway bar drop link, which turns out the kit that I got from Malaysia doesn't actually have one. The kit from Malaysia seems to be more for like the Evo 123s. These drop links are slightly different. It has this ball bit at the top, but then it ends up mounting straight rather than back at the same angle. As you can see there, both sort of face out. Then the strut. Obviously we got the brake line there and the drive shaft back here. That looks pretty festy, so I have to try and, hopefully I don't have to, but I might just take that off just to clean it up anyway, just so it looks a bit better. These wheel studs I reckon have been changed at some point too, because same as on the back, they're actually quite nice and still anodized close to the brake pad, the disc. So that's that side. So, pay special attention to the fact that the sway bar exists and the drop link exists. So we'll come around the other side, over here. So as you can see, disc, as I said, it's nice, it's actually pretty clean on the inside there. Again, brakes are a little bit rough, so we'll give them a nice clean up. No random zip tie on this side, but if we look over here, no drop link, no sway bar. So it might not, you won't be able to see it on the, but back down in here, that's where the sway bar snapped. So as I said, I got one of those coming, probably looking at friggin' February by the time it gets here now though. But I can change everything else over in the meantime. So yeah, apparently that's a really super common thing that these sway bars would snap. The guys on the Facebook page mentioned that apparently it was a recall back in the early 2000s with these, that the sway bars would snap so much that they put a recall out. Obviously this one was missed. So yeah, that's fun. So being that the path that the sway bar takes, which is up through here, there's no way to get it out without dropping the subframe. So we'll get my angles right, so it looks like I'm gonna have to get under there and drop the subframe either out completely, which I don't particularly want to do, or just drop it down, pull the bolts out and put the bolts back in a couple of turns, and so the subframe can come down enough for me to pull that out without having to disconnect anything, because I believe it's all steering lines and stuff that have to get disconnected if that's the case. So that's fun. So I don't know whether to start by doing that or start with the brakes. I think I might leave them to the last, because I do have a rebuild kit for these, these rubbers up here, and the piston rubber in here. I wonder if I can get in there. Can't really see too much, that's all right. So yeah, I think I might start by doing drive shafts to get the arms out. I think I'll take the arms off first. I might even take that whole everything out actually, struts, everything. Yeah, I'll sit down and suss out a plan and then come back. Alright, so after a little bit of playing around, I got the old steering tie rod off. Feels okay, but I mean, got a new one, so I chucked the new one in there. Pretty easy, take the pin out, got a 17mm castle nut on the top, and then just get your mallet, your hammer or whatever, and give it a couple of good smacks on the top and she'll pop straight out. I've got my only sway bar drop link out now, 14mm here and 14mm nut on the back there. You got to get obviously an open-ended in there and a spanner on that side, otherwise it'll just spin. And yeah, so that would sit, up in here. So I couldn't really find these anywhere in Australia. I could find them in the UK. Problem with that is they were about, I don't know, close to $50 each. Once you converted it from, pounds or euros, whatever they use, into Australian. But I ended up finding a quote-unquote a universal set on eBay for, I think it was at $40 for a pair. So you just, I'll measure this and then I'll cut. Comes with a bit of thread and a bolt, similar to what we're going on, the way that this mounts on. So you measure it, cut it down, screw it in, do the nut up, and then you've got your drop links. So now that's off. So I've got the steering rack out, off the hub, the drop link off the strut, and what's left of the sway bar. You can see it just kind of flaps around. It's not meant to do that, obviously. So next thing I might try and do is get this off here. I'm taking the pin out, see if I can get that off, to then pull the hub back. I know I won't be able to do that actually. So the problem that I'm finding is that under here, to get the ball joint out, it's spin around there. So this nut under here is there. So I need to get that out to drop this down to get this entire arm off. And as you can see, there's not a lot of space under here. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get my ring spanner in there. Looks like I'm going to only be able to get my open ender in there, and I don't really want to do that because I might strip it. So yeah, I'll give that a go, see what happens there. But that's going to be the pain in the ass bit. If that comes out easy, then I'm laughing, then I can just drop that arm down, and then I'll probably actually leave it out while I get the subframe sorted. So, which I believe part of it's just here, that bolt, and then it goes straight up. So, all right, I'll keep having a go, see what I can find, and I'll come back. That wasn't actually anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was just a 19mm, just in here. Got a good grip on it. Popped him out. I can't really get it much further past that because obviously the arms aren't really designed to go, like, that's about as far as the arms are meant to go down. They're meant to come up. So from memory, it's just a couple 17mm just here, and then another couple over there. So I'll go under and see if I can get them out, and I might bring you along. Actually, we'll see if we can have a look under here. Let me get a good angle. And learn how to use this one day. Up, up, up. So we got these two just here. Hang on, get this proper professional photography here. Problem is I'm laying the gimbal on its side, so now everything's like crooked. Yeah, so we've got these two bolts here which hold this bit on, and we've got two more up under here, and then this whole arm should drop down. I had it almost practically out on the other side when the car was facing the other direction, so I'll get those out. It's going to be a bit harder without my rattle gun. I left it at work, but yeah, I have to do it the old-fashioned way, so we'll see how we go there, and then I'll bring you back. Update. So I've got the old arm out. And yeah, once I got a couple of these nuts undone a bit more, this part just dropped straight down. It is quite tough to move, so I think it's actually still pretty good. But I mean, yeah, compared to the new one, obviously got to take the dust cover off this one. So I'll look at that now. Yeah, look at that. Looks good. Back on. All right, so a couple of big differences. As I said, I've got a feeling that this, Satria GTi suspension kit isn't, specifically designed for the GTi. It's mix and match of Mitsubishi parts. So I believe this is where the sway bar link attaches on some of the Lancers. Hence why the drop links that came with the kit had this part at the top, but had a mount that sort of, the wood mounter here, so it would be more of a like that. But obviously it doesn't matter, it's just a little bit extra metal there. Other than that, they are, as you can see, they are identical, same size. Only difference is this part here. There's a couple of extra holes in it, weight reduction I suppose. As opposed to these rubbers don't actually look that bad. I mean, it's probably not like a massive, like, I don't know what you call it, like something, a bush that would just clap out pretty easily. Although that's pretty dry and sloppy. Whereas that's like, and the new one's nice and tough, so that may help. Neighbours are having fun. So that's one arm out. We'll come over here. So this is just sitting here freely now, not really attached to anything other than the drive shaft, which I don't reckon I'm going to need to take out. This is just happy just sitting here. I think I will leave the brakes till the very last. So I'm thinking I'll go over and get the other arm out, repeat this process over the other side, and then we'll come back and go from there. Well, the passenger side's finally out. That was a giant pain in the ass. A lot of whacking with the hammer, as you can see here. Just wouldn't come out, and then just, in typical fashion, just let go. So similar to the other side, the bushes aren't actually in like bad condition. I have a feeling that all of this grease here is just from me, like, mucking around with it, trying to get it off, and it being all sort of flexy and whatnot. Same as the other side, these end rubbers here just came straight off. It doesn't look like it's cracked or anything like that. But it did come off pretty easily. The other side, so that was passenger side. Driver's side one, so similar. It's spinning around. Like, actually, look at that. That looks different. That's interesting. Bear with me a sec. So, look at that. Interesting as that. So this one was on this side, and this is the one that was on this side. It's completely different. Look at that. I mean, they are still, like, that's a big difference. Wow. And it doesn't look like it's moved or shifted or anything like that, but that's a massive difference. Yeah, wow. Everything else is the same except for that. And I mean, that one's got an end cap on it. Whoop. And this one doesn't. There's a size difference. You know what? I did discover that the driver's side of this car had been in a very small front end knock, hence why it was on the passenger side, and this is the one from the passenger side. No, this is the one from the passenger side. This is the driver's side. So I wonder if they've replaced this arm when they did the repairs. And that is the side where the sway bar was broken too. Interesting. If anybody's seen anything like this before, let me know. I'm really curious to know what the go is with that. I might actually pull out the other arm, because if I set this up the same way, this one is this one, and it's, as I said before, it's exactly the same, except for this part. Maybe. I'll grab the other one, have a look. So, yeah, no, the new arms are the same. You know, I'll get back in here. You know, they line up nicely and everything. Move them off the way. Like, that's a big difference. This is the big one. And this one went over it. Can't do it one-handed. It went all the way on anyway, so now I can't get it off. That'll be right. Just a little bit. Yeah, so it was on about there. Interesting. Okay, well, all right. Well, so that's the front arms out. As you can see, on the driver's side here, we just got this sort of, you know, just loosely, just hanging in there. It is getting late in the afternoon. I might have to leave this as a part 2 and come back for part 3 when I start taking the subframe out, because I think I need to do a little bit more research before I get that started. I mean, you know, there's things that I can see just by looking, but then I've also got to, you guys won't be able to see anything, but as much as I can see, whether I'm going to disconnect stuff up the top, because to also replace these steering arms, it might be a little bit tricky to do because I've got to get right up in there. So I might have to drop the entire subframe down and out completely, which I wouldn't hate, because then I can clean him up and give it a nice coat of paint, make it look all fancy and new looking. I think it'll just be a little bit easier with those arms to put everything like that back in. So then I'll drop the subframe down, give it a clean up, give it a paint. You know, put those new boots on the steering racks, the new steering arms in with the ball joints, caster arm ball joint, whatever they are. Anyway, steering stuff. Yeah, so I think that'll be it for today. We'll get a part 3 done in the next few days. It is literally almost Christmas at this point. It's the Sunday beforehand. Unfortunately, I've got to work through it other than public holidays, so yeah, I might get a little bit more done over Christmas. Hopefully just after Christmas I'll have all my engine mounts in. I've ordered all 4, because when I was doing the timing stuff, I noticed that this engine mount here, you can't see it there, but she's got a nice big crack in that one, so got that one ordered. And I've got this one down here ordered. There's another one of this down the back of the engine as well. Got that one ordered, and there's one just down under there as well. So I've got all 4 engine mounts on their way. Those universal drop links. Yeah, so I've still got a bit of work to go. I was supposed to start looking at getting this thing painted in the beginning of next year, but this obviously takes precedence because, well, can't paint a car that doesn't move. All right, yeah, I'll leave yous with it. Enjoy your Christmas, if that's what you celebrate. If not, enjoy the time off. And we'll come back hopefully in the next few days with some more updates, hopefully with that subframe out and, you know, some of these arms in and whatnot. So, all right, well, that's it for me for today. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you're watching from, and this awesome beast will be on the road sooner than we know it. All right, hooroo.